Hey guys, how you all doing? Good morning, happy new year. And I know the past few days has been kind of crazy for a lot of Chelsea fans. And I'm not gonna get into all the negativity that's been going on. What I'm gonna try and do today is talk about what we can do to move forward. And by the way, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do me a favor and hit the like button, share, subscribe, follow, whatever it is. Your support means a lot to me. All right, so what do we know so far? So far, we know that Chelsea and Enzo Maresca have parted ways after a turbulent, 18 months. You can say within that 18 months, he's achieved a lot for the club, be it the Club World Cup, the Conference League, if you care about that. But yeah, he has done a lot for the club. And despite winning that, he's gone. Now, this has always been a part of Chelsea. When managers perform well, they keep going. But once there's a blip in that performance, they stand the chance of losing their jobs. And for we already know that this split was driven by a run of poor performance on the pitch, and Maresca didn't help himself out when he came out to talk about he was not happy the last 48 hours after the win at Leeds. But we have found out now, because after that statement, everybody thought, oh, he was talking about the club owners. But we have now found out that he was actually referring to the medical team. Yes, the medical team. They are an independent contract with the Chelsea Football Club. So I'm looking at it in terms of they have decided, oh, this player should not play more than 30 minutes, but Enzo Maresca is giving them more than 30 minutes. And that's probably giving them issues with their contract. So I think that was been a back and forth between the two parties. Chelsea currently fifth in the position. Yes, if you saw the games yesterday, I was hoping that all the teams play at least a draw, or anyone who was below us that could, go above us not win, and that's what happened. So all the teams played a draw, and because of that, Chelsea, we are still in the fifth position. Although the points between Chelsea and Leeds, I believe, is getting smaller day by day. So this morning, the under 21 coach, his name is Callum McFarlane. I hope I said that right. He is currently the interim boss for the next game against Man City, and he was asked about his feelings on the game coming up, and of course taking this big position. And basically, what he was saying is that he is focused on the Manchester City game. He talked about the professionalism of the players, that they were all professionals, and the spirit was high in the group, and everybody was training hard. I think he also mentioned that Cucurella is back, and hopefully he's going to join them, but he has to be assessed within the next 2 days. Now, he's the interim manager. Now, speaking about a permanent manager, we already know that the coach, the manager at Strasbourg, which is Liam Rosenoy, he is probably the one standing in line to take over the permanent position. I don't know when, but most likely we're going to hear about that soon. I'm thinking after the Manchester City game, they probably just want to make sure that the game is finished, and they'll go ahead and assess and find out. I won't be surprised if we see an announcement on Monday, because Chelsea wants to hire real quick. Now, how can Chelsea get back on track starting from today? There are a few things I have right here. Number one is stabilize the dressing room immediately. What that means is, the interim manager, of course, he has that task to do between now and the Man City game, because when you fire a manager, everybody is like, oh my, what that's the person that's been leading you, the direction of the team play and everything. So now this is where the senior players like Reece James, even Tosin, yes, Tosin, these are senior players in terms of the age. They are the ones that can come in and create some kind of certainty for the younger players, especially in the dressing room. Okay, they need to hold some kind of internal meeting to reaffirm the objective of the squad, which is winning the game. Now, I know it's going to be tough since Maresca is already out, and this is a new manager. He has his own style, he has his own tactics, and it might not be time for them to practice that formation. So right now, what he needs is just stability. Go on to the Manchester City game, do your best, play for the club. You're no longer playing for Maresca. You're no longer playing for anybody. You're playing for the club. And this is what you've been hired to do. So go out there and do your best. And then, make sure they can also reinforce accountability. All right, because you don't want a situation whereby somebody loses the ball and then everybody starts blaming them on the pitch. No, you want to reinforce accountability. If you do something wrong, take leadership upon yourself and go run back. I don't care. If we're gonna play that game against Man City, we need to make sure that we are focused, mentally ready, because they're gonna come at us. They drew the game yesterday, and they are what, 4 points behind Arsenal, and they want to catch up. All right. So that's the first thing. Then the next thing is they need to appoint a clear interim leadership plan. So what does that mean? Rather than, well, we already know that the person who is going to be running, who is the most likely manager, is going to be the Strasbourg manager. So the club needs to come out and make a statement and make it clearly that they are going to appoint a manager within these few days. Okay, they need to understand that, yes, this December we've had a bad run in December. It was a blip, but that doesn't negate what we've been doing in the past. Chelsea has been doing very, very wonderfully well since Enzo Maresca took office. Okay, he has been, think about it. We've won the Club World Cup. We beat PSG. We played good games, and we've been winning. We just had a bad December, and this is where everything started. But October, November, we had great run. We had multiple wins. It was going fantastic. But all of a sudden, we had a bad December, which we've been having in the past, and all of a sudden, it's the worst. Okay, so we don't need that. So we need to swiftly appoint the right manager. Okay. There have been several people on the list. Okay, now I know number one is Liam Rosner from Strasbourg, but people have mentioned Jose Mourinho. I don't think he's going to come back. People have mentioned Jabi Simons, I think, the Jabi Simon, the one from Barcelona before. But honestly, when it comes to hiring any elite manager who can be allowed to do the job, like the Carlo Ancelotti's, that's not going to happen. So Chelsea are going to look for somebody that they see has the kind of technicality that they want, but is answerable to the club. They don't want somebody who is going to come back and push back at them or, argue. No, they are looking at it as a plan. We have a plan, stick to it. Okay, just do what we say you should do. Basically, people have said a yes man. I don't want to use that term, but yes, it's going to be a yes man. All right. And then the next thing that they need to do is they need to reevaluate the tactical identity. Now, one reason for the slump was inconsistency in results and a lack of defensive solidarity. So Chelsea should simplify the tactical approach to boost confidence. Okay, if we're going to be a pressing type of football, we should specify that. Okay, and if it's going to be a structured defense, we should also specify that. But we need to understand what kind of system we're going to be playing, because trust me, we're not going to be playing Enzo Maresca's system anymore. So we need to bring out a clear definition of what our tactical identity is. All right, maybe that should be a club policy that we're going to be always, pressing, attacking type, or defensive, and that's how you can identify what managers are very, very good in that kind of line. Bloody hell. And then we need to limit this rotation. Let me drink some. We need to limit this rotation. I think there has been too much rotations in the club. Players don't get to have that coefficient with one another. And of course, that causes instability in the team. Think about it. If you are a defender and you're getting used to playing with, say, Chaloba every day, and then today you play with Chaloba, next day you play with Tosin, another day you play with Jao Hato. I mean, you're gonna be like, you're not gonna be able to understand each one and every them. But compare that in this other situation whereby you play Chaloba with you and Chaloba get to play in the defense line every single day. You build a partnership that becomes strong. That's how Saliba and and Gabriel are doing very, very well with Arsenal. Look at all the best teams in the world. They have a solid defensive line, and those defensive line, they've been together, they've understand each other. This one knows when to go forward, this one knows when to attack. They have built a partnership within themselves, and that is what Chelsea needs to do. And other things like improve the organizational communication. Chelsea must align the board, the sporting directors, and the new manager on their responsibilities. Establish a clear chain of decision making. There's been too much talk about whenever the team plays or loses, then you see the owners going down to the dressing room to talk to the players. I don't think that should be happening. This is the job for the coach, okay, and not the owners. I don't know what they're gonna say because they don't have that technical ability. All they're gonna do is just go and fuss and cuss and shout at the players. But that's only defeating the morals of the players when the owners are saying, "Oh, you're worthless. You're not doing well. You're not doing your job." That's not gonna be good for them. It's different from when the coach comes in and talks to them regarding their positions, what they did wrong, what they can improve on, but with a little bit of energy and with a little bit of I would say not in a way to abuse the situation, but make them understand what they're doing. And what the coach can do most of the time is, hey, if you're not doing your job, you're gonna sit on the bench. And clearly that's what most of the managers do, and that helps them to improve themselves even better. And then we still need to boost the squad confidence. We still have the Champions League. Okay, the coach has to let them know that, hey, regardless of what has happened, we still need to make sure that we finish top four because the Premiership is gone. Arsenal or Man City or even Aston Villa could be the ones. Those are the three people running, and maybe Liverpool coming up now. But after that draw yesterday, I'm not sure. So they need to still understand that we have things like the Champions League, that's the top four to qualify. We still have the League Cup semi-finals, yes, against Arsenal. That is going to be a two-leg League Cup. And the FA Cup campaign is already going to be starting, I think, this month. So we have a congested window this January. I think it's like, 10 games this January? Or I think about 10 or 19 games this January. I'm not so sure. But honestly, they need to have these things put in order to move the club forward, because what has been happening, we know the owners are not going to change. The model is probably going to be the same because it's locked in, and they just need to understand that the fans are in need of something. The fans are in need of something, which is a win, a victory, a championship, a trophy. This is what motivates the fans every single day. And if you look across social media, if you listen to a lot of Chelsea fans, everybody is just deflated. Everybody deflated. It's been a tough few days. In fact, the entire week has been tough, and even got worse on the first day of the month of the year. So you can imagine what's going on among the Chelsea fans. So let me know what you think about this, and what are your own options. What do you think we can do to improve the club and get us back on track? Because whether we like it or not, we still have to compete. Okay, regardless of the situation, we still have to try and make sure we get the top four. If we lose focus now, we could see ourselves on 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th. in a position in the league, and that's not what we want. And we still have the Champions League to go for. So we have so much going on this new year, and the club needs to refocus and repurpose itself and encourage the players. So let me know what you think in the comment section. And once again, please like, share, and subscribe for more information. Thank you very much, and have a blessed day.